Let's talk about something most people avoid, something uncomfortable, but if you can master it, it will change your life completely. But before we get into it, let me ask you, how many times have you felt like your own desires are controlling you? Like there's this inner voice pushing you toward decisions you later regret. You know that voice, don't you? That's lust. And I'm not just talking about physical attraction. I'm talking about that obsession, the kind that hijacks your focus, clouds your mind, and pulls you away from what really matters. Here's the truth. The one who conquers lust can conquer anything. Think about it. Humans are slaves to their impulses. From the moment we wake up, we're hit with a flood of stimulation, ads, social media, TV, movies, all engineered to keep your attention, to stir up desire after desire, ones that never really get satisfied. So the question is, who's really in control? You or everything around you? Here's the part no one tells you. Lust doesn't just drain your energy, it steals your potential. Every single time you give in to an impulse, you're giving away a piece of your power. And here's the irony. We're taught to chase pleasure like it's the ultimate goal. But that quick hit of pleasure, it makes us weaker. It makes us easy to manipulate. It leaves us empty. Now listen closely, because this is where things start to get interesting. For centuries, the greatest leaders, thinkers, and visionaries have known a powerful truth. Self-mastery is the path to greatness. Alexander the Great once said, "Conquering yourself is the greatest victory." And he was right, because if you can control your desires, you can control your destiny. But let's be real, it's not easy. The mind is a battlefield. Every day it wages war against thoughts that pull you toward comfort, toward the easy way, toward instant gratification. Lust doesn't just live in your body, it lives in your mind. It whispers to you, just give in, just enjoy this moment. Don't think about the cost. And by the time you realize it, you're already trapped. But here's the good news. You can break the cycle. You can take those impulses and turn them into something unstoppable. Because lust, while it feels like an enemy, can actually be a powerful tool if you learn how to channel it. When you master it, it becomes the fuel for your biggest goals. But first, you have to tame it, and that takes strength, discipline, and a will of iron. Here's the fascinating part. The process of mastering lust will completely transform you. At first, it's hard. You feel lost, almost like you're fighting yourself. But slowly, something strange happens. A mental clarity you've never experienced before begins to appear, and it's like a fog lifting. And suddenly, everything makes sense. That clarity becomes your advantage. You start making decisions with surgical precision. You see opportunities that others can't. And most importantly, you're no longer chained to your impulses. You're free. So imagine this, a life where you control your desires instead of being controlled by them. A life where every action is in sync with your biggest ambitions. A life where you wake up every morning with crystal clear purpose. No distractions, no regrets, just unstoppable determination. That life is possible, but only for the few who are willing to face the toughest enemy of all, themselves. So, are you ready to take control? Because if you are, there will be no limits. Lust will no longer be your chain, it will be your engine. And with that engine, you can achieve anything you set your mind to. Here's where it starts. Stand in front of a mirror. Don't just glance at your face or your body. Look deeper. Look at your thoughts, your patterns, your deepest impulses. Think about how many times your life has been steered by them. Most of the choices you've made, they didn't come from logic or principles. They came from something much more primal, your desires. But here's the secret. When you master those desires, everything changes. And I mean everything. Before we keep going, I want you to do something. Ask yourself, honestly, how many times have you made a choice you knew would hurt you, but you couldn't stop yourself? If you're honest, your answer might surprise you. And that's okay, because admitting it is the first step to changing it. Most people spend their whole lives justifying their impulses. They'll say, it's normal to have desires. It's just part of being human. And they're right. But here's the difference between those who achieve greatness and those who stay stuck in mediocrity. The ones who rise above don't let those impulses control them. They take that same energy and turn it into a driving force. They use it to move forward. Think about it. You've probably seen someone who seems completely unshakable. They move through life with purpose. They don't fall for distractions. They're not interested in cheap pleasures. What do they have that most people don't? Self-mastery. And here's the thing. That kind of control doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. It takes discipline, consistency, and most of all, willpower. The reason most people fail is simple. They want the reward right now. They want instant gratification. But true strength, true control, it's built slowly over time. It's like forging a sword. Every strike of the hammer, every step in the process, it makes you sharper, stronger, more refined. And that's why, if you stay with me until the end of this video, I'm going to share something that could shift your entire perspective. But first, let me tell you a story. Imagine a man named Mark. On the surface, he had everything: money, fame, success. People admired him. From the outside, his life looked perfect. But inside, he was trapped. You see, Mark couldn't control his impulses. Every decision he made was driven by the constant need for pleasure in the moment. If something felt good right now, he would do it, no matter the cost later. And sure, he smiled for the cameras. But when he was alone, he felt empty, completely unfulfilled. One day, Mark met someone who would change his life. A mentor, a man who had walked the hard road of self-mastery. This mentor told him something that stuck. He who conquers lust conquers everything else. Because when you control your desires, you control your destiny. Those words hit Mark like lightning. They stayed in his mind. He couldn't shake them. So he made a decision. He decided to change. At first, it was brutal. His old habits kept pulling him back. That familiar whisper, telling him to give in just once more, it was always there. But Mark fought back, slowly, day by day. He started saying no to the little temptations. And each time he resisted, he felt something shift inside him. His mind became clearer, his decisions sharper, his confidence stronger. He realized he didn't need more money. He didn't need more recognition. What he needed was to win the hardest battle of all, the one against himself. And once he did, everything else in his life started falling into place. So now I want you to think about yourself. If you looked in the mirror right now, would you see yourself before Mark's change or after? That choice is yours. No one else can make it for you. And here's the strange truth. Most people will choose the easy path. They'll keep giving in to comfort. They'll keep chasing momentary pleasures. But a rare few, will choose the hard path, the path of self-mastery. And those are the ones who go on to achieve something truly extraordinary. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds great, but how do I actually do it? Let's break it down. The first step is awareness. You can't control something if you don't even notice it happening. So start paying attention to your impulses. When you feel that pull towards something tempting, stop. Ask yourself, does this move me closer to what I really want or farther away? If the answer is farther away, that's your signal to stop. Because every time you say no to an impulse, you're actually saying yes to yourself, your real self. The second step is patience. We live in a world that trains us to want things instantly. Click a button and it's yours. But instant gratification is poison dressed up as pleasure. Anything truly worth having takes time, effort, sacrifice. And the third step is purpose. If you don't have a clear reason for what you're doing, it's way too easy to fall back into old habits. When your goal is powerful enough, resisting temptation stops feeling like a punishment. It starts feeling like an investment. Now I'm going to ask you for something. If what I'm saying is connecting with you, if you feel like it's finally time to take control of your life, then subscribe to this channel. Because this is what we talk about here. How to become the best version of yourself. How to break free from being a prisoner to your own impulses. How to become the master of your destiny. And I want you to do one more thing for me. Go to the comments and write this sentence. I am the master of my decisions. Write it like you mean it. Write it as a promise to yourself, because when you write it down, you've already taken your first step toward real control. But don't go anywhere yet, because there's something you still need to understand before this ends. Something that could change the way you look at your entire life. When you master your desires, it doesn't just affect you in small ways. It changes everything. Your relationships improve. Your work improves. Your health improves. Your focus becomes laser sharp. Think about it. If every choice you made was aligned with your goals, if every action you took was in harmony with your values, you'd be unstoppable. You wouldn't be thrown off course by distractions. You wouldn't be pulled down by temptations. You'd be moving forward every single day toward the best version of yourself. That's what self-mastery gives you. And that's why conquering lust isn't just about discipline. It's about unlocking the life you've been dreaming about. Remember this, the one who conquers lust conquers everything else. Because when you control your desires, you control your life. So I'll ask you again, are you ready to start that journey? Because the moment you decide, everything changes. And the first step is mastering yourself. Before we wrap this up, I need you to understand something deeply. This isn't just about resisting one specific desire. It's about reshaping who you are at the core. When you take control of your impulses, you're not just saying no to temptation. You're saying yes to a new identity, an identity built on discipline, purpose, and self-respect. Most people live on autopilot. They wake up, scroll on their phone, react to whatever the day throws at them, and call it living. But in reality, they're just following the commands of their impulses. And here's the truth. The world doesn't reward that. It rewards the ones who have direction, the ones who aren't swayed by every passing urge, the ones who can hold their ground when everyone else is chasing the easy thing. The biggest difference between success and failure, between fulfillment and emptiness, isn't talent. It's not luck. It's self-control. And this is where it gets powerful. The moment you start controlling your desires, you gain an edge over almost everyone around you. Because most people won't do it. They'll keep saying, I'll change later. They'll keep living for comfort. And every year they'll sink deeper into a life that feels smaller than it could be. But you have the choice to do something different, to step out of that cycle, to be the one who looks back in 5 years and says, that was the moment I took control. Now let's get practical for a moment. If you want to start mastering yourself, here are 3 core actions you can take starting today. 1. Track your triggers. Write down the moments when your impulses feel strongest. Is it late at night? When you're stressed? When you're bored? Knowing your triggers is the first step to disarming them. 2. Replace, don't just resist. It's not enough to just tell yourself, don't do it. You need to replace the bad habit with something that fuels you. It could be exercise, a creative project, learning a skill, anything that gives you momentum instead of regret. 3. Build small wins. Start with short, achievable challenges. If you can win the small battles, you'll build the confidence to win the big ones. Every time you win, you're rewriting your own identity into someone who is in control. Here's why this matters. Your mind keeps score. When you follow through on what you said you'd do, your confidence grows. When you break your own word, you stop trusting yourself. And if you can't trust yourself, how can you expect to trust the life you're building? So protect that trust. Guard it like your life depends on it. Because in a way, it does. Now I want you to imagine something. Imagine a version of yourself that never breaks a promise to themselves. A version of you that knows exactly where they're going and refuses to let cheap temptations pull them off course. How much further ahead would that version of you be? 1 year from now? 5 years from now? 10? That version of you is possible, but only if you start now, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, now. And it all starts with one choice, the choice to master yourself. I want you to think back to Mark's story. Remember, he didn't start by overhauling his entire life overnight. He started by winning the small battles, by building his strength, one decision at a time. That's what I'm asking you to do. Don't try to be perfect. Try to be consistent. And one more thing, don't underestimate the ripple effect of self-mastery. When you control your desires, it doesn't just change you. It inspires the people around you. Your friends notice, your family notices, and sometimes, without even knowing it, you become the reason someone else decides to take control of their own life. So this is bigger than just you. It's about the example you set. Remember, true power doesn't come from what you have, it comes from what you can control. And the hardest thing to control is yourself. But once you do, everything else falls into place. So I'll leave you with this. When you stand in front of the mirror tonight, ask yourself honestly, am I in control or am I being controlled? And if the answer scares you, good. That's the signal it's time to change. Because the moment you take back control, you unlock the life you were meant to live. So don't wait. Don't put this off. Start now. Because the one who conquers lust conquers everything else. And when you master yourself, there is no limit to what you can do. See you in the next video. And remember, your destiny is written by the choices you make today.